Shortly you'll hear an excerpt from my book. This is the day that I actually left. Over the next 2 years I would complete over 200 books on healing, self-love, boundaries and understanding toxic patterns. Every page I listened to felt like a step closer to freedom. With every chapter I was learning how to reclaim my worth and build the foundation of a life I could actually be proud of. These books became my guide, providing me with the tools I needed to change my thought patterns, to rebuild my confidence and to start recognising my own value again. I gradually began to feel like I could do this. I could start again. My confidence was growing day by day, but I didn't let him see that. Each book gave me a fresh insight, new ways of thinking and practical tools that slowly but surely started to reshape how I saw the world and myself. They provided clarity, showing me that the life I had been living for so long wasn't normal, it was toxic. Something my own daughter had told me on a few occasions, but I didn't see it. How bad is that? At first it was hard to hear, harder still to accept, but the truth hit me. I'd been living in a false reality, a life shaped by trauma and fear. It was a painful realisation to come to be, gave me the push that I needed to make the change. What was even harder to face was understanding why I stayed there so long. This would haunt me for many years to come, but in time I would realise it wasn't love that kept me stuck. It was a fear, abandonment. I was unaware that I had unresolved issues from my childhood that I would come to explore later. I'd been so terrified of being abandoned again that I stayed, even when I knew deep down that this wasn't the life I deserved. I stayed because I couldn't bear the thought of leaving him, even though it was clear we weren't right for each other. I understood what it felt like to be abandoned, and I didn't want him to feel that way, even if it meant putting my own feelings and well-being on the back burner. This wasn't about love anymore. Fear was keeping me stuck in a situation that was slowly destroying me in every way. We both had our own issues, and together we were a very unhealthy dynamic. I now had the clarity and strength that I needed to finally make that break, to walk away, to break the chains that had been holding me for so long. I understood now that I wasn't trapped, and that I could break free no matter how difficult the road ahead seemed. Everything would work out as it was meant to. And with that newfound strength and confidence, I began to make plans. This would not come without further struggles. The more confident I became, the harder he tried to bring me down, resulting in him threatening to kill me the night before I left. He had no idea what would happen the next morning. I had already started preparing everything for my exit. I had never felt so terrified in my life. Could I actually do this? The doubts started to creep in, but I had it all planned and there was no way I was backing out now. The following morning I awoke at the crack of dawn, my mind racing already. I hadn't really slept, just a few hours of restless tossing and turning. Every creak of the house making my heart skip a beat. The plans I had made the night before kept playing over and over in my mind like a broken record. Each step had to be calculated, every move had to be perfect. If he suspected anything, if he noticed even the smallest change, I was terrified what he might do, of how he would react if he found out I was planning to leave. The thought of him waking up and confronting me made my pulse race, the very idea of it enough to send a cold wave of dread through my entire body. I had to be careful. One wrong move and everything could come crashing down. The fear felt like a constant weight pressing on my chest, but I had no choice. I had to go through with it. I gathered all my important paperwork and put it at the bottom of a carrier bag, covering them with VAT receipts. I had already packed a bin liner with a few belongings and makeup, toiletries, just the essentials. Then I heard movement upstairs. I thought my heart was going to beat out of my chest. I could hear him coming downstairs. He never got up at this time. I hid the bin liner, but the carrier bag was still on the sofa. Oh my God, if he looks in there, I am done for. He came into the room and sat down. He was sorry, again, for what had happened the night before, and he wanted us to talk, to work things through. But there was no way that was happening. He continued on with the same excuses and regrets I'd heard time and time again. Then without warning, he reached out and wrapped his arms around me. I froze. My whole body recoiled. His arms felt heavy, suffocating the touch of someone I no longer wanted near me. Someone who had stripped away any trace of kindness or love in me. By this point, he repulsed me in ways I couldn't fully explain. The very thought of being close to him made my skin crawl. I wanted to scream, to push him away with every ounce of strength I had left, but I was too scared, too overwhelmed. I felt sick not just from the physical closeness, but from the twisted reality of it all. The constant emotional torment, the manipulation, the physical abuse. His touch was nothing but a reminder of everything he had done to me. I wanted nothing to do with him, nothing. He must have sensed my coldness because he slowly backed away, retreating towards the door. I felt a flicker of relief, thank God he was going back upstairs. But then, my stomach dropped. I saw his hand reach for the carrier bag on the sofa, and a wave of panic surged through me. No, please, no. I had held my breath, praying he wouldn't open it. I watched as he looked inside, my world seemingly freezing in that instant. That's it, I'm finished, I thought, my mind spiralling into chaos. Everything I had been carefully hiding, everything I was terrified he'd find. And then, as if words came from somewhere deep within, I blurted out, "It's just my VAT receipts." Shockingly, he seemed to buy it. Normally he would have rifled through everything, but this time he simply placed the bag back on the sofa and turned, heading upstairs without a second glance. The relief I felt was instant, but it was short-lived. My heart was still racing, the anxiety still choking me. I couldn't shake the terror I felt, the tight knot in my chest that refused to ease. I was still on edge, knowing this wasn't over. It was never over. I pushed the thought to the back of my mind, forcing myself to focus. It was time. Was I really doing this? Yes, I fucking was. The reality of it all hit me like a wave. I felt a buzz searching through my body, nervous energy mixed with an overwhelming sense of determination. I had never been so scared, yet so sure of myself in my entire life.